When you look at what's been happening over the last 24, 48 hours, just how dangerous a phase is the conflict in the Middle East entering?
I think we're entering more prolonged conflicts that is perhaps short of where we were last month when hostilities were still ongoing, but also nowhere near where we were in January when there were no hostilities. Right now, we're seeing prolonged medium-term warfare, and that is not the sort that I think we'll see the level of attacks that we saw before, but we're certainly not going to see a fully open Strait of Hormuz for some time, I imagine.
How difficult do you think is this making the possibility of an off-ramp for the US administration?
That's a great question because everyone is wondering what exactly is the off ramp. We have seen time and time again the U.S. administration shift tact, shift rationale and explanation for what is going on in Iran and what they want to see happen in Iran, whether it be the obliteration of the nuclear program, whether it be their ballistic missiles, whether it be regime change and defending the people. This administration has tried a few different rationales for it, and it seems to continue to be trying different rationales and not really staying consistent with one.
Well, the rationale might be changing and those inconsistencies might prevail, but do you expect there to be any change to what we're seeing with how the administration is negotiating all of this?
Well, I think we have to talk about the political reality that the midterms are coming up. Everyone knows this. And right now, not many Americans are in favor of this war. Really, if you look at Democrats, independents, and even non-MAGA Republicans, majority of all those groups are against this war. Now, to put that in context, if you look at prior wars in the United States history, whether it be Vietnam, Iraq, or Afghanistan, it literally took years for them to get to the levels of unpopularity that this war was at, basically at the outset, and if not, then within a few days or weeks. So this is a administration that is really facing a lot of headwinds ahead of the midterms, which look like not only will they lose the House of Representatives, but more likely than ever, they will lose the Senate as well.
We've seen these strikes from Tehran on Jordan, on Kuwait, on Bahrain. We're seeing this regional expansion, possibly, of the conflict. How much will that play into how the US responds?
This administration has had better ties with a lot of the Arab world than many may want to give it credit for. And that those sorts of ties were helpful in establishing the Abraham Accords during the first administration, and were also helpful in really getting a more of closer to a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. With that said, this sort of pressure on U.S. allies in the region and partners is really forcing many of them to choose. Do they want to deepen down with the United States, as we see from the UAE, or do they want to really try to consider other options, as we see Saudi Arabia talking ever more so to countries like China?
And if you do see that happen, you know, Saudi Arabia speaking to China, the other countries in the area doing the same thing, what will that mean for how much leverage the United States has in the region?
That's a great question. There's a big difference, I would say, between China wanting America's power and China wanting America's responsibility. At the end of the day, I still think that the United States has more responsibility and therefore more power in the region than public opinion polls would tell you. At the end of the day, the U.S. is still seen as the indispensable partner, but it is not good for, in my view, U.S. foreign policy for China to be seen as a more attractive partner.
We know that the jewel in the crown of all of this is the Strait of Hormuz, given how it constrains the world's energy markets, etc. Is that going to remain the main negotiating pin in all of this, or do you expect if we see regional expansion, that could become just as important?
Yeah, we know that the Iranians are keen to see the Houthi rebels in Yemen try to close more waterways to the region if possible. I think more than anything else, we very well may see almost like a renewable revolution with this war because more countries are going to take an all of the above approach to energy, including renewables, but also including domestic constraints, domestic caps, and reservation policies. And we are basically seeing more guarding against geopolitics than ever. There's basically attacks on these from these geopolitical developments, which will require governments to simply be less willing to engage in a more open trading system. Basically, we will see more protectionism.
Finally, Jared, it's 9 days now since we've seen an escalation in tensions between the US and Iran. Where does this leave possible peace talks?
It doesn't look like peace talks are going to be completed anytime soon. It famously took the Obama administration nearly 2 years and almost 200 pages of text to get to the Iran deal, JCPOA. I think we are weeks, if not months, away from any sort of lasting ceasefire here. We may see momentarily ceasefires here and there, but nothing lasting and no major peace agreement anytime soon, in my opinion.
Jared Mondschein, Director of Research at the United States Studies Centre. Great to speak with you. Thank you.